chase betterment, chase personal development, professional development, and you will ultimately win. There's no losing with that. It's not degrees, it is an unwavering, relentless pursuit. Those who refuse to give up. That's it. Welcome to ThriveWell with Jess Woodbeck.
Hi, Robyn. Thanks so much for joining us here.
Hi, Jess.
Good to see you. I know last time we saw each other, we were in New York and it was cold and sunny there. Cold and sunny today. Is it the same over there?
Yes, it is. As a matter of fact, they say we might make it to 60, but of course it was 19 degrees this morning. So it's just the fun of, Mother Nature.
Well, I want to introduce you properly. Robyn is a good friend of mine. We recently did some work out in New York with Exactly What to Say, Phil M. Jones. Both became certified guides. And in addition to that, you are a steadfast veteran in the industry. You've been here for 3+ decades.
Yes.
Multiple shifts. And you are very well known for your relationship building and communication with your clients, creating those lifetime relationships to take you through the real estate journey. In addition to that, you've held a 5-star professional award since 2018, and you're currently on the board of directors for the Virginia Association.
That's me. Yes.
Awesome. I am so excited to have you here. I know if you are anything like me, you've experienced this marketplace and the double effort to get the same results we got last year and the year before.
It is crazy because I have done this for so many years that I am constantly always amazed at how we change every time we turn around. We're never the same people doing the same thing every day, which is why we're in real estate. I mean, let's face it, it's fun. You get to help people. You really make a difference in people's lives. And yet it's the rules, the laws, the attitude, the atmosphere, the conditions are never straight ahead, steadfast. And so it really just you have to be creative. You really do.
Absolutely. So in a nutshell, what would you say your clients, if you had to survey the hundreds, I think in your bio, I read over the lifetime, you've done over 1,200 transactions.
Yes.
That is touching a lot of people's lives. So congratulations.
Thank you.
What would you say your clients know you for? What are you known for?
They really know me for, one, my knowledge. And the willingness to share, because that's what I feel our job is that we are there to support them, to make their decisions easier because we've given them the information that they need to have. And then my passion to really take care of them. That's one thing that I really enjoy is that my buyers and my sellers, they become like my family. And so I want to make sure they're taken care of. I want to make sure that they have all the information they need, that they're buying a home, not just a house, that it's something that they could stay in. I mean, I have one client that's been in the house since 1991. I keep saying, it's time to move. It's time to move. But she's happy. They love it. So, and that actually really makes me feel good that I find them something that they could stay in no matter what. And I always stress to my clients, no, this will work. No, you have a little one. Someday they're going to need room. So it changes. Yeah, it's a lot different.
Have you ever been in the position as an agent where your clients come to you, you have the consultation and they say they want one thing, but you realize with your expertise, perhaps it's something else?
Absolutely. Absolutely. There's horrible sayings out there like buyers are liars, but it's actually, we don't listen. We really don't listen because what we are learning from them when we talk to them is about their lifestyle. Not about the 4-bedroom, 2-bath with a 1-car garage or whatever it happens to be. We're talking lifestyle. So how important is that commute to you? Because from here to get to your work, which is the big thing in our area, we have traffic, lots and lots of traffic outside of Washington, D.C. It's always, you say 5 miles, 35 minutes, and it's just so much traffic. But that's one of the things is that you're talking lifestyle. So how important is a commute to you? How important is it for you to have parks and schools or what's near you? That level question of, what is your experience in buying a home? What is your experience in a community? Tell me more about what you're looking for. That makes it not buyers are liars. It makes it that you've developed a relationship with them, and now you could start to understand. Because I right now I have one client, and they were emphatic that townhouse was fine. They didn't want anything too big. Took them to a single family because I knew that's what they really wanted. And sure enough, I get a call, Robyn, is it wrong that we don't want to look at townhouses anymore? And I said, no, I think it's good. Their number one requirement was they have plenty of parking for family to come over. You don't get that in a townhouse community. So why are we looking at them? Let's find you something that we can live with, that you want, the place you want to be. And they're like, yes. So just have to learn those critical questions to ask.
I love that. And I think that's important for any agent listening right now, that it was beyond the tactical information of
Right.
2 baths, 3-car garage. It was more about, hey, how do you like to live?
Right. Exactly.
Like,
Yeah. It's the critical conversations are the ones that we really are creating opportunities for them to learn. I mean, because sometimes it's these conversations that you're digging deeper and deeper to find out, well, they have a lot of family in the area that comes over, or they have friends that live all over the country that now they're living outside Washington, D.C. that will be coming to visit. So, okay, so we need to have at least one extra bedroom, right? Yes. Okay. And we do this and we like this. And she loves to cook, or he loves to cook. I had one that I said, so who cooks? And he's like, I do. Okay. So what does your chef kitchen look like? And we got into those details. So I know no electric, it had to be gas, and it had to have this. And that's the type of things that you need to. So I don't just sign people up to send them listings. That's depressing. There are a lot of bad listings out there, and that's depressing. I go through and I screen them, and I look at all the photos, and I check the aerial shots, because I don't want them backing to future Safeway or Walmart and seeing in the backyard, because that ruins their economic value. So I do all that research before, then I send them those select few, and they always come back, well, we saw this on this site, and we saw this on Zillow, and okay, so let's review that one. Oh, you're right. It doesn't have that. Oh, yeah, that is important to us.
Yeah, that is expert work, right? That is saying, hey, it's my job to sift through the inventory.
Exactly.
For you and help find those boundaries that you've already put up, and then explain it to you versus, oh, let's go see 123 Main Street, 445 Main Street, all of them. And you're like, just opening doors, right?
Right. And that's not what we are. And I know there's a lot of people that use some of these companies that are discount brokerages. And those companies offer a service, but most of it is just opening a door and writing the contract. That when they polled some people, I don't know how many people that bought in 2020 that said that they had major regret. I bet a lot of those just used open door. Let's open the door, show you the house. We've done the research. We know everything. The buyer thinks, but there's a lot of things they don't know. And that's what our job is to do. It's not only just to help them find a home, but to help them through the whole buying process. So they don't have remorse. They don't have, aren't worried. I just sold a home to a fabulous couple out in California that found me on Google. I never met them till settlement. We did FaceTime every time they wanted to see a house. I would walk through, I would book a half an hour appointment, walk through the house and take them around. We made about 4 offers, and the 5th one went all the way through, and they got it. They showed up, he showed up. She still hasn't seen it because she's back with the baby, and shows up and says, wow, this is even bigger than we thought it was. Oh, we're so happy. Yo. And, of course I'm like, what happens if they don't like it? But
yes, right. Thankful.
Yeah, but it's one of those that you have to be that person. Imagine every person that you're working with is not standing in front of you, but on the other side of the camera. So you have to be that knowledgeable about what's happening in the marketplace.
It's a consultative approach is what I'm hearing.
Yes.
Right. You're there to consult, to contribute, to educate, and then
exactly
make better decisions because of it. I love that. And I think that is the most professional way to go about being in our industry. So, okay, I've compiled a list of questions that people had for someone that has so much experience in multiple shifting markets. We know that real estate cyclical. So being that you've been here for 30 plus years, what would you say is the most powerful lesson you've learned thus far that you would wished you would have known 20 years ago, 30 years ago?
Oh, wow. That's a really good question. I think a lot of it is to trust yourself. It takes a lot of experience to learn that inside voice that is telling you this is not the house for them. Tell them this is not the house for them, and have that confidence to be able to say that, to turn around and be able to have confidence enough to tell the seller, well, it's a really, really pretty color of green. It doesn't look good in the camera, and no, they're not going to fire you because they trust you. And it's starting to really listen to yourself. And that took a long time to actually get that people hire you because of what you know and how you say it and how you express things to them. Yeah.
So good. I think one thing we talk a lot about at my brokerage, or I hear other brokerages doing too in their training process, is not being afraid to lose the deal. Like
Right.
this thought process, if you point out that there's a crack in the foundation, that you see it, and obviously we would want to make sure it was inspected, is almost this trigger in the brain for a brand new agent to think, well, I would lose the deal.
Right.
And we talk a lot about ethics and in integrity in your work. And that's what I'm hearing you say. Yeah.
That's critical. Well, the other thing is, and I realized this many, many years ago, my daughter was born in 1991, and I was doing very well in real estate, and it didn't go well with her. She was born in February, and that year I went from the year before of earning $60,000, which in 1990 was a really large amount, to $11,000. And so I started doing one thing that I only did it one time, and I realized after that, never again. I put the money before my client. I automatically started going, I need this transaction. We need to eat. We have a mortgage to pay. We have bills to pay. And I put the money in front of the buyer, and I lost the buyer. I also lost a lot of integrity for myself, because I realized that if you focus on the client, the money will come. If you do the ethical right thing of telling them what they need to know and explaining the pros and cons, and you sleep well at night because you're representing your client, the money will come. You have to have the ethics first, and never, ever put the money before the buyer or the seller. It's not worth it. It's why I don't do disclosed dual agency. It's because I want them to know I have their back 1,000% of the time.
Oh, good to know. A lot of people always have questions around that. Is it okay to be a agent? And there are strong opinions, right? I'd rather not, because I don't want to cross any boundaries. I don't even want to have to think twice about it. So that's interesting to hear. I have another question around shifting markets. So with agents coming into a marketplace like this and understanding fast pace, it's rapid. You have to put in a little more effort to get just simply one deal done right now. What would be your advice around a shifting market and how to see your way through it and handle, the volatility of the economy?
So it's really interesting because people are losing contracts. Buyers are losing contracts. Agents are losing contracts. I wrote 18 contracts. I've now gotten 3 through this year, and agents are beating up on themselves. Oh, I can't believe I lost another one. No, and you got to tell your buyer, you didn't lose it either. Somebody was willing to pay more for a house than you felt it was worth. That's it, period. That's it. I just this morning, matter of fact, pulled up a whole list of houses that I'd show my clients to find out what each one of them sold for. And some of them, one was $75,000 more than what my client was willing to pay. And it was like, I'm so glad you didn't buy that house. You would have overpaid. And that's not okay. So it's just, you have to think of it differently, take a twist on how your perspective is. Is it that you aren't doing a great job, that you are not a fabulous agent? Because you are, because you care. And showing you care is the reason why you're hurt and your clients are hurt, is because you do care. The difference is, this is not about you. It's not about your clients. It's about how much they're willing to pay for a house. And that's what you ask is, so if you lost this by $5,000, would you be okay? And if they say, well, no, we could do 5. Okay, so is that the most you could do? Because I want to make sure we're staying and respecting your comfort zone, but I also want to make sure that you're not going to be kicking yourself because you lost it. This is our top. Great. We're all on the same page.
Yep.
Yeah.
I love that you said this is not about my opinion. This is about what the client wants, because there are two options there. You either walk away feeling really good that you didn't pay more than what you thought it was worth.
Right.
Walk away winning because you did pay more than what market value said, and you were totally okay with that.
Exactly.
Yep.
Yep.
That's important to know, because there is a difference between low integrity and not educating your client on, yes, that's over market value. Are you willing to do that? This is what it would look like to even make up that value over time. It's not possible, or it would take you 10 years. And feeling good about it versus, yeah, you should do it because that's what everyone else is doing. And the urgency and the demand got to your buyer and they made a mistake.
Right. And that's a big concern, as you don't want your buyer calling you back in 5 years and going, Jess, the house is too small and we paid this and now it's this. And it was because you got it caught up in the bidding war. It's like going to an auction. Hey, who's next? And everybody's raising the paddle. No, let's slow back down and just take it down. I do, though, when I talk to, because I've been doing this for so long, that I really feel that who you work with matters on the other side of the table. So we've gotten away from the love letters from the buyers. And if I'm a listing agent, I don't present them to my seller until they've chosen one, if that happens to have it. But I always make sure that I tell them about my buyer. Say, I just want to let you know. So you could let your seller know. The seller says, so, this is a really great neighborhood for people that have dogs. I make sure I put a dog in there. I make sure I tell them. But then I also talk about me, and I talk about my lender, and I talk about my title company, because I want them to know we are low risk. We are take it to the bank, low risk. The buyer is, I am, the lender is. You don't have to worry. Your seller signs on this contract. We're going to settlement. And that's very critical, because a lot of agents don't realize, net, of course, how much the seller is going to make. Terms are always important, how much they're putting down when you settle. But the biggest one's the risk. So you really have to talk about that when you are presenting contracts, either as a listing agent to your seller or as a buyer to the other agent and your buyer, that we need to be zero risk, very much so.
Yeah, you can count on us. We're going to see this one through. You can count on the lender. I've even heard, and we do this within our brokerage, of lenders also being a part of that. Hey, I'm calling on behalf of Rob, and I wanted to let you know that Susie and Sam came to me 45 days ago. This is what the journeys look like, and they are solid.
Yeah, that's critical, because one of the big things you always worry about as a listing agent is, are they ever going to return my call? So if I have to find out, how's the loan doing when we have contingencies again, if we ever have contingencies again, but how's the loan going? Now you don't even worry about it, but having somebody be proactive is huge. That's one of the big things about when you are, especially a new agent. Little tips like this make a big difference in your confidence, and also what steps you're going to prepare. I remember when I got in, I was in my mid-20s, and I got in, and everybody in my office was my age now, and they weren't willing to help. And it makes a big difference that we've shifted a lot, and we're bringing in a lot of wonderful, bright, intelligent young agents, but they have to know it takes a lot of work. And you have to be reaching out to people, holding open houses, greeting people, taking floor time, doing whatever you can to actually follow up with anybody. If somebody says, we had a couple of people in our company that said, oh, I don't do internet leads. And it's like, well, what do you do with those internet leads? Well, nothing. Great. I'd be happy to give you a referral fee for them. And so we started calling them. And so, but this is only, when I started, we didn't even have cell phones or lock boxes. We had those gate keys or something. So, but it's the same exact thing. Yeah. So it's just, you really have to take the time.
Speaking of those new agents, taking the time, getting with a mentor, following the breadcrumbs of success, love all of that. With your buyer agency, do you help all levels of buyers from first time to luxury?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
So what's your thought? What's your advice to an agent that comes in and they solely want to do one part of that? They want to only help first-time home buyers, or what ends up happening right now because values are so high, they're so attracted to luxury because they count the commission on that and think, well, why wouldn't I just do that niche? What's your thought on that in advice to new agents coming in when they're looking to just pigeonhole themselves?
So every market has its ups and downs. It's like if you're going to be doing a farm, you want to have a farm that has, maybe you do a condo farm and a townhouse farm, a single family farm, because at some point in time, the upper end might crash. Some point in time, first time home buyers might dry up. Some point in time, there's going to be something that affects economically each area. There was one agent in our area said that he would never consider taking a listing below 500,000. And this is when our average price point in our area was like 300,000. And now he takes everything. And because he got burned, he really got burned because people were, well, I don't want to list with him if he doesn't want to do that. And a lot of the people in the luxury want somebody that actually lists in the lower ones or has buyer in the lower ones because they're going to move up to the luxury. So pigeonholing yourself into one area means that with the market turns, you are going to be scrambling. You really are going to be scrambling. So it's better. I mean, I have a $400,000 buyer. I have a $1.2 million buyer. I have a $475,000 listing, and I have a $1.4 million listing.
Love it. And I hope
I want to cover everything.
Are listening are hearing the diversified pipeline is what is sustainable, because I think when you look at someone like yourself who's been in the marketplace for, let's call it 3 decades, and we know real estate goes in a 7-year cycle on average. That's incredible advice to hear from someone that's seen it through. They've been on the bottom of the market, the top of the market, the middle of the market, and you're saying no matter what, have a hold on each end.
Right, you do.
I love.
And to be honest with you, it's really kind of funny. Dealing with first-time home buyers often is a lot easier than dealing with the luxury buyers. Yes. Because the luxury buyers checklist is so intense because they have money to pay for it. Meanwhile, the first-time home buyers are just so grateful for your being willing to work with them. I mean, I've had them say, "Are you willing to work with first-time home buyers?" Yes, I love you. I get to talk to you. I get to educate you. You're like, I'm a frustrated teacher of sorts, And when you get into the luxury, it's fun because they have a lot larger taste, but they can be a lot more picky, especially if the market has changed and, you had that one buyer and there are not many houses, then you're stuck with that one buyer. Please buy. No, you want to have multiple ones.
Yeah. And I love what you said about, hey, when the market does shift, it's dangerous to only have one niche.
Yes.
Right? Then you're starting completely over with your brand and your focus and making sure the communities know, hey, I'm here to serve you too, even though I haven't been for the last 3 years. So great advice. Thank you so much, Robyn. I really appreciate your time. Love seeing your face again.
Me too. This is great fun.
Yes, I'm excited. If you guys heard some of Robyn's word tracks that she just used, that she uses with her clients to help discover deeply what they need, what they want, that is because she's a certified guide of exactly what to say by Phil.
Just like you.
Yes, and that's where we met, and I've enjoyed getting to know you even further outside of our curator community. So
yes,
thank you. I look forward to talking further in the future.
I look forward to it too. Thanks, Jess.
Tell people where they can find you. Where can we find Robyn?
Well, I am in Northern Virginia, right outside Washington, D.C., Fairfax County, Loudoun County, Arlington County, all areas that I serve. My number, 703-967-5899. If you guys have any real estate needs in the Washington, D.C. area, I only do Virginia. I feel like it's big enough. I could just do one area. But if you have any questions or anything, I'm here to help. I'd love to talk to you.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And of course, you can find Realtors Redefined and ThriveWell on Instagram with Realtors Redefined. ThriveWell is on YouTube, and that is where you will find this full episode of Robyn. Thanks so much.
Thank you.